Mindaugas here facing this +1 open. Lots of hands that are pretty tricky, but ace king not one of those. Going to be happy to jam, and let's see if Sergey is going to be making this raise call here. +1 versus small blind, 9-handed. The ranges are razor thin, and tens is tricky with the ICM considerations, because I don't believe that Mindaugas would be taking hands like 8s, 7s in this spot. So hands that you're really crushing are going to be pretty much less likely. Does find the shove, and it's going to be the onus back on the Estonian player. Is he going to make the call here? Yeah. Very quick call. And already we are seeing the first big flip of the final table here. Ace king for Lithuania facing Estonia's pocket tens. What's it to be? 9-7-5, so pretty clean for Sergey so far. 3 on the turn, needs to fade an ace or a king to get the first elimination here at the final table, and it is always coming 7 as Sergey eliminates Mindaugas, going home in 9th for over 17,000 euros. And unfortunately there, runs it into the pair, can't improve, and one of the 2 Lithuanian final tablists is hitting the rail early on. Ooh, yeah. Roberto, though, on the right end of it, and he's lost over half his stack coming into the final table. We got to saw him earlier, was the first person here, seemed fresh and prepared, and dusted himself down well after that brutal beat at the end of the day's play yesterday, and now finally is on the right end of it. Sergey here, is he going to be able to do anything with the 9s? Who's he got behind? He's got the short stack behind, so it's only worrying about these 2 guys. And we saw a very quick and fearless take with the 10s earlier, facing quite a big rejam. Managed to knock out Mindaugas there with the ace king, holding with those 10s on the low board, and now with the 9s, and it's gone open from 15 big blinds, 15 big blind repush, and we're here with the 9s. And it being late position, you could definitely see some arguments for taking the 9s here. It's not going to be a massive dent in his stack if he were to lose.
And if he shoves in background to the ace queen,
I think he has to fold. Yeah, because he wants the collision between the 2 players, but Sergey decides to get out of the way.
2-8.
And if he does go out with the ace queen, he'll be looking back at the hand saying, why couldn't the 9s?
Yeah, exactly. If you'd have just flicked it in there, I'm out of there, and then you 2 can flip it out. But he's had the king queen that he let go, now ace queen suited. I just feel it's a bit too strong here. Cut off versus button.
Says that you should call.
Because yeah, he has a short stack and there are other short stacks present, but there will be a lot of hands in Roberto's range that he does extremely well against. Ooh, yeah.
To say something.
You can't blame him. Yeah, and you just see the bad news there. Ace queen, we can see has 40%, so must have been some favorable folded cards.
Like when he shoves like this, if you're not the next player, you're not supposed to ask, because you might influence the play. Because he says how much, you know what I mean? He's not supposed to say that, because this guy might have called over there. You know what I'm saying?
So 10, 5, 4. Jeff giving a bit of a lesson in the background, but we'll focus on the action here. Looking for a club or some queens. There's a frisky turn card. The 6 of clubs, Roberto. He's already thinking, Christ, what a tough run I've had. Is it going to be a club? It is. And Roberto, a final table from hell, came in second in chips, took a rough beat last night, and it's just gone so poorly for the Swede. Yeah, exactly. They really feel that that elimination is coming, and he's all in with the Jack 9 off.
So far, no callers, but Yuri has the same hand. How about Orimas? An overcard, the better hand of these 2.
Yeah, so you're going to see this kind of unspoken agreement of let's check it down, boys, shall we? And
I think these guys know each other pretty well as well. I saw them together talking.
Oh, really?
So Orimas and Yuri. or silent friends in this hand, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, it's really not even a collusion type of thing. It's just a very standard thing. Both of them very incentivized.
Trouble for Evgeny now.
Yeah.
Let's see if Orima still checks now.
I think his hand is so strong that he doesn't mind just trying to eke some value out of Yuri here. The main pot is so small because he's still, it's not like a completely dry side, so it's they still play for pretty much the full 2 big blinds between them, and that's why he's going to be betting here rather than doing anything super trappy. And yeah, tough work for Evgeny.
Runner outs only for Evgeny now then.
He needs running jacks, running nines, or a running straight. So a good card for him would be the 10. That would give him some outs.
Yeah.
There it is.
There we go. You called it. So George was going to be next.
Well, he's looking for the king or the 8, of course. Can he find it? Would be a miracle.
Oh,
no,
that's not. And we have the elimination of our 7th place finisher then, Evgeny.
Here we see Yuri applying pressure to Espen. But I think Espen will not go anywhere.
Yeah, he's seen enough from Yuri to realize that this is the type of opponent.
I mean, and if he takes down the pot, he's chip leader, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go for...
Yeah.
Gonna call.
And we are seeing 1.5 SPR.
Yeah, so this is a crucial flop for both players. Yuri lacking playability with that ace-3, just hoping to take it down pre-flop, but gets the call out of Espen and will be quite concerned.
Interesting board. Feels like Yuri doesn't have that huge range of advantage on this board.
Yeah, Espen's going to have a lot of suited queen X, right? The king, queen, queen, jack, potentially.
I mean, if he's calling ace 10, maybe he has ace 9 suited as well. Obviously 9s, 10s. Maybe he decides to jam 10s. But we see what Yuri comes up. I mean, it's pretty bad hand to have. 2 million. Probably the strat is just to bet big one time and then give up.
Take it down. Yeah. Just pray for a fold.
Yeah, and then against this size, Espen is kind of handcuffed. But then again, when you think about the range of your opponent, what would decide to bet so huge?
Yeah. One small takeaway is that he's got the ace of clubs, which doesn't have any backdoor interaction, so kind of like unblocking some hands that might decide to continue. But when it's such a big size, do we get to peel here with this kind of hand?
No, I don't feel like peeling. You can, I mean, of course, seeing hands is easier, but there is argument of on jamming with the 10. Because you block aces here, and I mean, this bet doesn't make a lot of sense. You can even fold out jacks sometimes here. I feel like some players could just bet jacks to see where they are in this spot. Let's go, Espen.
Wow, this is really strong if he's considering continue here. Very brave move.
I mean, you have to give credit just for thinking, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to be a real shift in momentum here between Ukraine and Norway? As Espen's really deep into the calculation here, trying to figure out, as Paulius just said, what on earth would be betting so big here? Does he have a hand like an overpair? Why would it bet so big on this rainbow texture?
Yeah, I don't see value hands in this bet.
Kind of eliminating them, right? You think it's more of like a panicky jacks or tens? Yeah.
More like jacks. I mean, could be jacks. To see where is that, you know, like, because you don't expect your opponent to bluff against this sizing. Yeah. But then again, Espen, I played with him back in the day. I feel like he can, if anyone from this table, he can sniff it out that something's wrong with this one. And even, you know, thinking so long means that he's really considering this and
skeptical as to what his opponent is representing here.
But I don't see, I don't see flatting here.
No.
I would not like to see a flat. Because jamming folds a lot of better hands as well, like ace king, ace jack. It's a call.
Wow.
Or a limp.
That's a
Yeah,
call.
but then you're going to 0.5 SPR, unless you don't expect your opponent to keep barreling in this SPR. I mean, it's a very unique spot. You cannot solve it. It's just we go by
the feel.
Yeah.
King on the turns at Espen.
Okay, and both opponents won't like this.
No. Yuri will be really concerned as to the presence of this king.
Actually, Espen might even like it, because then it's less kings.
Yeah, less kings, and
I mean ace king got now, but still ace king has to check it down. Or I mean, not check it down, but just the sizing on the flop is just so bizarre, given the situation and magnitude of the both stacks being close to each other and fighting for a chip leader pot with ace high.
Do you think he's ever considering
leading?
No.
No, there isn't. I mean, should not be any leads. I mean, if Yuri finds a bet here, but what size? You bet like 3 big blinds here?
Yeah, you have to size down massively from the flop sizing, which would be rather...
yeah, that's the thing. You have to make every street more expensive for your opponent. Now, after this flop bet, it's impossible to do that.
It's been deep into the tank, out of position, having called.
I mean, lead would... Okay, these guys played a lot between themselves, and...
Yeah, that is rather ballsy. Espen going for the lead of, I think, half of his stack, or about a third of his stack.
So, Espen sniffed out the flop bet, so Yuri is now... What is this?
What's going on? What hands does my
Espen doesn't have jack then.
No.
So, it's... One argument I have is for nines to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe king queen, but then again you block ace king, so I mean block ace king.
Yep.
So
yeah, nines makes
I mean, if
sense.
Yuri just jams here, I'm just going off the commentator booth and buying him a beer and bottle of champagne.
It would be one of the most brave moments of the whole week by far. Let's see what the Ukrainian is considering here. It just feels absolutely impossible for him to possibly continue in this hand. But having seen such a bizarre and unorthodox line in this hand from both players so far, we're really off the tree here and just in pure psychological warfare.
Yeah, and you know they have been playing for 4 days now. Fatigue could be hitting as well.
Kicking in,
yeah.
And now what a momentous pot with both players having ace high. King arriving on the turn.
I mean, when the guys will see both hands,
this is gonna be a turn up for the books. Could be some.
I mean, jamming is just suicidal here. I cannot.
Oh my word!
No way.
Is he gonna float and try and bluff the river at like 0. What would it be? 0.
No, now it's a raise. It's 1 point. No, this is a raise or call.
Okay.
It's kind of. Oh wait, so the graphics probably it's 1.35.
He calls.
Yeah. Wow. Espen is not loving it. Yuri is not loving it, but we're loving it.
We are loving it. This is insane. What on earth is going on?
Just 9.
Here? Queen. Wow.
Imagine this. Espen checks and Yuri checks back. Okay, queen is actually... wait, queen is better for Yuri here.
Yeah. If we perceive that he has ace queen, right? Which is...
Just in general.
Yeah.
Espen is left with 9s here only. And and then one combo of king queen
suited, which is rare, right? So, yeah, wow.
Maybe 6s sometimes.
What a bizarre and
Yeah, but if
fascinating
Espen
hand.
jams, then I mean, Yuri is not beating bluffs as well. So
He loses to
these
everything.
guys are playing poker.
Yeah, this is
Street
serious
poker.
street poker here. 10 million in there, 2.5 effective stacks behind. Wow. Espen pulls the trigger there.
Yeah, but now I mean, okay, what's you can't just. Let's go, Espen. That's
is-
why I'm saying, like, you calling the turn by Yuri is kind of suicidal because you cannot. I mean,
can't
jamming.
call off
I would
anything.
like more to see jam because you cannot call 2 times.
Yeah, exactly. You're just praying that he checks the river, gives up, and then he comes in.
Jeff, by the way, might be considering jamming here for around about 15 big blinds with the pocket fours from the hijack open. Certainly wouldn't be unreasonable, but of course, tricky on the final table, and particularly with the ladders that we're playing for.
Yeah, and we
but
do
I have
have-
seen Jeff is very fearless.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked
fearless,
to see a
but
jam here.
We do have one short stack on the table though. Chris is only 1.3, so it makes
Oh, yeah.
somewhat like of course the ICM and the pay jumps. It's not the ideal spot for Jeff to take the wrong decision here if we were to be up against a big hand as he is. So we'll see what choices. he's
Curious
been
how,
lucky.
how aggressive Sergey's been today, because yesterday he was certainly one of the more aggressive players on the feature table for the little stint that I did. So if Jeff knows that, maybe that makes him more prone to want to take this as a shove.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, as you said, we are on day 4, so they played a lot together, and there's of course some dynamics between the players as well. But just by saying, I was got off saying that Jeff has been lucky, and I didn't mean he's been lucky in the tournament. He's just been lucky with the smaller pairs. You know,
Yeah.
so it made a lot of sense.
Oh, I saw the hand with the tens. I mean, that was
Yeah,
that was
that's right, of
quite
course.
the hand on the final table bubble yesterday.
Yeah. So,
Understandably, he was a little bit animated with that one as well. I think I would be on a World Series main final.
yeah. I mean, it's
event
all about
bubble.
emotions, right?
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely. So you're entitled
you can be
to
we're entitled to a little release every now and again when needed.
definitely.
Yeah, Jeff really considering
All in.
to jam here, and he is going to find the
There's
shove.
Jam. And we are
Sergey's
gonna
not going to be
call.
folding.
No,
have a pair?
it's not. And you can see one king.
No pair?
Big
folded,
flip.
Quick flip. With the suited ace king and another big pot, 10 million sharp in the middle of this one. Sergey standing up, but he's following Jeff, so it's Jeff's seat in the tournament that is at stake right now.
And I'm assuming that we've had some aces and kings folded, because
Yeah,
only
this is-
40% for Sergey seems rather stingy for the ace-king suited, so that means probably quite a few clubs have gone as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a safe
Ooh,
flop
that's
for
a
the
nice
fours.
That's a nice flop.
The ace is gone as well now. Would make the straight for Jeff. So
What is ace there?
down to kings.
Yeah, big
And
trouble for
four.
Sergey here. Ace is no
There's
good, there's the
the ace.
straight. Only a 4 is going to
And-
chop this one.
Exactly. And as you can see,
And the king of
straights are
spades
with
is
Jeff
dead
as
too.
well. Not three. It doesn't help him. Just 3 aces total. Well, there we go.
And we apologize for the language there.
I'm back in
Yeah,
business.
we did say that it's allowed to let out some emotions, and Jeff does.
Espen is going to open with the queen 5 suited. Pretty reasonable.
Sick.
And 9-8 should defend here.
I didn't like the
9-8
snap
off. Should be a pretty clean defend. Yeah.
When you say that, it's a.
By the way, Oramas, when I was doing commentary yesterday, was very, very short.
Yeah, he was for a long time, and he had a lot of decisions in the short play as well.
And then I hear he was chip leader at one point on the final table. So he's had quite the roller coaster. What a flop! What a flop
The
for
roller
Oramas.
coaster
Flops
might
the straight
continue.
against the
Wow.
top pair of Espen.
Also, 1 diamond, of course, for Oramas, and neither of those for Espen. Makes the continuation, just smaller size.
It's an interesting board as well, because we do expect it to hit Espen pretty well. He's going to certainly have quite a few straight draws, gut shots himself, as well as some pairing combos. So I wonder if Oramas tries to play this fast. It's certainly a board that we can go for some kind of protection against those higher pairs, higher draws, and certainly get some action from those. But no, it does just decide to call.
I don't want to see a king now.
Great turn card for Oramas. Big brick, big old brick. And we assume that Espen should put Oramas on a lot of the draws. It's a very draw-heavy texture, 2 diamonds, straight draw. So I expect Espen to size up on the turn if he elects to bet. He could equally just happily check behind on the turn in the hope to maybe draw some bluffs on the river if the river breaks out. Also a bit of pot control. We do have top pair, but it's a quite vulnerable top pair. It does indeed decide to go for the pot control on the turn. I think that's very reasonable. But yeah.
Rank 6.
And it's a great run out for Oramas in the sense that because there are so many draws that miss, should he choose to lead at this point, it's going to just look very, very strange, very polar. And particularly I expect his sizing to be quite polar as well. If he leads, it should be somewhere towards pots. I'm expecting something 2 to 3 million if he leads. And it's very tricky for Espen to try and get away from it because it's a very competent opponent. We've already seen that he's capable of making big calls, big moves, big bluffs. So I think if he leads for pots or thereabouts, it's going to be very, very tricky for Espen to negotiate here. Just thinking of a size here, but I think he's definitely opting for the lead on the river here. It's just such a beautiful run out for him, you know, the diamonds brick, the straight draws bricks. It's a very, very clean run out to get paid. And it's going to look really, really outrageous when he leads this river.
Draws missing, and Espen has the top pair, so exactly what Oramas wants to his opponent to have in this spot.
Reaching for chips, and he is indeed looking to go around about pot there. Looks like about 2 million, maybe a little bit shy.
Less. 1.875.
Yeah, this is really tough for Espen.
Now he's eating the full shirt.
I really like this from Oramas. I think he's played the hand well. This is really, really tricky for Espen. It's like it has some random 2-pair got there. Has like 10-4, 10-6, Jack-6 call me on the flop, and then managed to back their way into some 2-pair. But just every obvious draw misses. It's really sick for Espen. And certainly, Oramas is one of those players that is going to have bluffs here.
Yeah, definitely.
There will be some players that are more in line, but I don't think.
Yeah, this is a tough one to do.
Yeah.
You can see he's not liking it, but he's just thinking that it's so many.
It's a painful spot here.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to start eating the other chair as well.
Yeah, this could hurt a little bit.
Now then, Jeff standing back.
If Espen can find the fold here, I'll be very impressed. He's certainly capable of it.
Yeah.
But it really is quite the ill spot that he's been put in here. Very experienced player, though. I've played against him many, many years online. It's funny, it's one of those ones where you put a screen name to a face, and it was the first time that I've met him. I played him in the mixed games here, but I'd played for him like 20 years online. And it's really, really funny when you have one of those ones where... And I'm like, oh yeah, he's a very good player. Very, very accomplished player.
Yeah.
Certainly capable of finding the fold here, but it really is quite the painful spot. Oh, and I think he is reaching for the fold. Oh, what a great fold.
Yeah,
what a great fold.
From the booth. Good one, Espen.
He'll be really proud when he sees that. Lost the absolute minimum
and
on a board.
Will be terrified.
Yeah,
get paid there. I mean, you choose the right sizing as well. It's not going to be called more often if you go smaller, probably.
No,
so
you have to choose that polar sizing because obviously the polar sizing is either going to be very nutted or very bluffy, and so you have to go for that bigger sizing. Excellent fold there from Espen.
Yep. He's a good and now then, time to shove for Chris.
Good luck, Chris. 6 bigs.
The 6 big blinds are in, and Espen down a case down suited now in the hijack.
Espen can certainly consider just calling. He's not going to go crazy, especially with players behind, but think he can happily flick in the 6 bigs here, knowing that he's ahead of Chris's range.
Yeah.
And then
under
obviously
the
if some
gun,
crazy
of course.
action occurs behind.
Yeah, and Chris is in the spot, like under the gun, with the blinds coming up.
Yeah.
Short stack, he's shoving a lot of hands, so wide range.
Yeah, certainly with the big blind anti-format
Yeah.
as well, he can't sit around for too much longer. Jack 10 suited more than good enough.
Third of it, or at least a third of his
Yeah,
stack.
Espen is going to find the call.
Yeah. Anyone else coming along? Well, not likely to reach the big blind because Ormus is folding. What about
You gotta be careful.
Sergey? He's out. 7-4, not folding out for.
Here we go. Off to the races, 54% for the ace-9 suited. Chris going to be very happy to see he's got 2 incredibly live cards.
Oh. Will we lose that 6th player or not? We've been playing 6-handed for a couple of hours now. And all in for Chris. He's the one receipt in the tournament. Jack 10 clubs. And the ace is there for Espen.
Bad flop for
Huge
Chris.
advantage. Yeah, not many outs. He needs runner help now. Or at least help to split the pot.
Oh, that is some help.
And some win outs. He has hearts to chop, and of course he might
Deuce of
take
spades.
care.
Oh, what a runner! Unbelievable run out.
He does find the runner double up. Wow.
Nothing funner than runner. Unbelievable for Chris there. Almost dead on the flop.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
a turnaround.
Wow. And still 6-handed.
Those short stacks are really sticky at the moment.
Definitely.
Going nowhere.
Yeah.
Chris
with
will
a
be
nice spot now.
jamming here.
Espen with exactly the same situation again, facing the short stack with the ace-10 versus the under the gun shove.
Slightly shorter jam, but equally slightly worse position as well.
Yeah.
Crack those knuckles, Jeff. Is it just me, or does Jeff look a little bit interested here?
Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure if he's seen his cards yet. He is a very observant type of player.
Definitely takes his time.
Yuri there looking a little bit tired in the background, just trying to kind of get his head back in the game a little bit. But he won't be calling off too many hands here, facing the short stack shove as a short stack himself, just looking for raise first in jams. And Espen makes the second discipline lay down back to back. Yeah, there you go. You have to read.
Jeff indeed looking interested.
Yeah, and the difference is Jeff has Chris dominated here. So Chris from Latvia are going to be looking for a king or some diamonds. Let's see if any of the players behind have anything, and they don't. So it's going to be
you have a
King
jack,
Jack
too. Poof.
versus
Come on,
Ace
baby.
Jack.
Ace Jack against King Jack.
Jeff looking for the knockout here. We've had such a stubborn six-handed duel that it did feel that it was going to be ominous in the form of the flurry of eliminations from these short stacks, and lots of very interested bystanders here as Jeff is stood up out of his seat, cheering on this run out. Let's see if it's going to be yet another double up. No, so 5-4-4. No backdoor draws now for the King Jack. Just going to need the King and the King only, down to 16%. Ooh, that's a Queen. It was paint, but a diamonds, of course, so it can't improve.
Jeff's ready for dancing.
Oh, wow. So after such a stubborn and hours of play here with 6 left, we do finally get that elimination. And it's going to be Chris from Latvia taking his chance there with the King Jack suited, running into the Ace Jack of Jeff, who gets yet another elimination. Jeff was on his 6th bullet in, I believe, joining the play on day 2, and now he's just been up a huge stack.
And definitely going to be defending with King 7. He might even just decide to jam this, but oh, he does indeed jam this, and it's a quick call from Espen.
Looking to get some of the maybe King 8 and Ace 2 off, kind of raise folds.
Yeah, I certainly don't hate the jam at all from Yuri here with the King 7 suited. It's going to be
it's fine.
Expecting Espen to raise fold a lot on the button.
Going to have a lot of fold equity here
sure.
versus Espen, who's going to be fairly aggressive, but yeah, does have Jeff to contend with in the small blind. Anyway, let's see a flop. And it's going to be clean for Espen so far with the raise call with the ace-jack. Looking for a diamond to make life a bit easier for him.
The seven of diamonds.
14 outs.
What a turn.
Ace-jack. Or a diamond.
Oh, but there's the 4th diamond on the river. Espen eliminating Yuri in 5th place.
And Sergey standing up and can't conceal his smile there as he's just made a big pay jump.
Understandable. Huge, huge ladders.
Espen going for the limp here with the queen 10.
Off to the flop we go. Nice free flop for Jeff.
Oh, what's that?
Easy,
That's,
sticky. Ooh, interesting board.
Big flop for Jeff here. Middle pair with the jack high flush draw.
And Espen with a flush draw, but unfortunately does not know that that is no good for him. Certainly be getting at least one bet in.
Yep. I think Espen quite likely to go for the check call.
Yeah.
So we're going to be seeing a turn card here.
And it's the reverse of what we had before with the 2 diamonds, albeit it was Espen with the better 2 diamonds. That one bricked out.
Ooh, is he going to be finding some counter aggression here, looking to put pressure on one pair holdings on the monotone flop?
Reaching for about 1.7 from the looks of it.
Is Jeff the person that you can maneuver off of an ace or some kind of slightly stronger flush draw here?
Very, very tricky for Jeff. I don't expect him to go anywhere on the flop here, but should he face a run out that doesn't really improve him, very tricky if Espen continues. Yeah, is going to find the call on the flop.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden the tension in the room ramps up a bit as Sergey is going to be super interested in the events of this hand, sat there with about a big blind.
Yeah.
Whilst 2 fairly healthy stacks go to war. The offsuit 3 on the turn. Espen now has to realize just how strong this continuing range is going to be from Jeff. Bet calling the flop with all of the pressure on him. We saw his fearlessness in the ace-10 of hearts hand. And I think if he were to find a fairly big bet here, he would get the job done versus Jeff's exact holding. But there are a lot of flushes to contend with. I don't think Jeff's going to raise any kind of hands like 7s or 5s pre-flop either. So he's going to have 2 pairs, some flushes, some top pair with a flush draw.
It does look like he's reaching for the barrel. What size of barrel do you expect? Like 2.5 million?
It looks like
I don't believe you.
Oh. Jeff making his intentions very clear, saying he doesn't believe him, believing Espen to have this kind of hand class, the 1 spade, going for the ICM pressure.
What an interesting hand. Interesting talk as well, like for Jeff to just instantly say, I don't believe you.
Yeah, looking like he's considering folding though with this kind of table body language.
Yeah, he's done this a lot where he's played with his cards, so he ends up folding. And yeah, it looks like he is going to fold.
Wow,
you were right, Jeff. You were right. You were right not to believe him.
It's so expensive to find out.
So
and
tricky.
That's why Espen once again with this really creative aggression.
Espen should be opening with the ace-3 suited.
Yeah, if he was in the small blind, there are arguments for just folding and keeping the short stack in so that he can continue to bombard the other stacks with aggression. But
I always love that when you can keep those really, really tiny ones alive.
Yeah, exactly.
And then pound the rest of the table, pick up some extra big blinds. We've seen quite a few effective implementations of that on the previous final tables as well.
Yeah, and Espen goes for a meaty open sizing here, just putting so much pressure on the 2 medium stacks here, Jeff and Auremas. So he goes for a 5x raise.
Wow.
which is going to completely cage these two stacks. But Arimas looks interested. Oh no, he's got Jack 4 off. Okay, so he's just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And Sergey has to complete, of course, all in for 650k plus the big blind ante.
Not going to be happy to see that he only has one live card, unfortunately.
He kind of continues his misfortune in the big spots, but he's been unfortunate to lose a lot of all-ins. Can he come from behind in this one and get back in the game here? 2.1 million out there, so he'd be up to 4 big blinds.
No help for him on the flop. King and a king only. Maybe some runner. Oh, and the heart's now not even working for him, so it's just 2 outs. And that is going to be a good game to Sergey. 4th place. Really, really good performance. Just really unlucky on the final table. Lost a couple of flips. Didn't really quite get it going on the FT, but nevertheless, a really good performance there.
So Espen with the kind of middling hand, 9-5 off. Happy just to limp and take a flop versus Jeff. He's going to have some ISOs, maybe from some slightly weaker hands, and of course the top of his range, and then he's going to have a lot of shoves as well. So he deems that 9-5 to be one that just wants to see a flop and take the price with that big blind ante. 3-handed now, so 33% effective ante. Does mean that I think Espen is going to basically fold nothing in this spot.
Yeah. Ooh, spicy flop here with top pair for Espen, middle pair for Jeff.
Yeah, this is getting quite interesting already. So Espen with the top pair.
I was going to say pre-flop, actually. Their cards are so close that like you can get lots of flops here that interact with both of them pretty well.
Jeff deciding just to ship it in instantly with his middle pair. Espen having the top pair.
Oh, wow.
He might be a little bit concerned as to some of the stronger 9x that Jeff might have, but Espen is saying, just need a little bit of time here. I'm not slow rolling you. Let's just think about this.
Yeah, I don't think he's folding.
5.5.
Obviously very legitimate to take some time and think about it. It's a big spot. It's big jumps. But he is going to find the call here with 9-5.
Oh, you have a 9.
Jeff at risk with middle pair is going to need to find one of those 5 remaining outs in the deck.
Yeah, a little bit of a panicky jam there from Jeff. I'm not sure what he really achieves. He's very unlikely to get a better hand to fold and just manages to get all of the bluffs or the stabs to snap fold. So
I use my 1 time.
Unfortunate timing.
Oh, he's used his 1 time though.
Looking for an 8 or a 6 on the river to stay alive. 5 outs. Is it to be?
No, it's not to be for Jeff.
In 3rd place.
Well played to Jeff. Really, really enjoyable player to watch. I think he held himself very well at the table.
He certainly did, and he hits the rail in 3rd after a real up and down journey from him.
Arimas hitting the ace, but small piece for Espen as well with the 4. Backdoor flush possible as well. It's gonna be Arimas to continue pre-flop aggression. For the min bet. 1 big blind. Espen is used to calling, but he's looking to do something else. There's possible check raise coming.
Yeah, with the 4 here plus the additional backdoor equity, feels like his opponent might be overstabbing this type of texture and betting a lot of overcard hands that may not be able to face this aggression. Get some value as well from kind of gut shots and straight draws, but also clears out some 6 out hands. Arimas with a very natural continue here, wants to keep the bluffs of his opponent in. Ooh, wow, what a turn card that is.
This
so
goes for a wow.
Yeah,
Almost like if we were to pick an action card, it's gonna be the 10 of diamonds.
that is it. Top 2 for Arimas and 9-4 suited for Espen, going for the check raise on the flop. Turns a flush draw with his bottom pair. And interesting decision now. Does he go for the check, or is he going to follow it up with another bet?
Check raise, I guess, now when he actually has some equity. And goes for the bet of almost, was it 1.7?
Yeah, it looked to be a shade under 2 million, didn't it? So sort of a third pot here.
6.
And with this sizing and this hand, he can call a raise. Arimas now improving versus hands like 4-5.
Although, of course, thinking that just the added flush draw is one of the hands that Espen could be betting. Now with the top 2, looking maybe to close this one down with the raise.
Yeah, how often do you think your opponent is bluffing? What type of like semi-airball hands like the bear gut shot are going to be in there compared to how much value do you think he has? And I think at these stack sizes, Espen could have a hand like ace-4 or ace-5 off sometimes as a check back. Quite deep, so ISOing or shoving those hands would be quite a lot, which...
Going for the call now, so building a pot of 8 millions. And as you can see, 13 behind for Espen, 20 behind for Arimas. Espen looking for that diamond or a 4. Not to be.
It's the deuce, so straight completer. If Espen were bluffing with some kind of 3x holding, that gets there, or a hand like 6-3. Now just left with the lowly 4th pair. Miss diamonds with that 4.
Deep into the hoodie tank. See Ilva on the rail here in the chat saying that Espen is a superstar, one of the funniest people. Oh, back with that as we now have the all-in from Espen.
What a tough spot
This
for
is a spot for Arimas.
Yeah, and it's like, what hands am I going to call with that aren't as great? And insane possible cooler running into a hand like 3 deuce potentially is what Espen's representing.
Oh, now they're both postured like this is one for the highlights.
Yeah, he does make the call, and that's going to be the winner for Lithuania.
Wow, the winning hand, the 2 pair of Arimas of Lithuania, is the winner of our main event, 2024 World Series of Poker Circuit event in Tallinn.